woman.
Yes.
Ready? Go. All right. Here we go. We are 16 minutes late. We apologize for the inconvenience. Of course, as usual, the streaming software always has to do something. We were prepared. Early this afternoon, we did a dry run. We were freaking ready to go. What happens? The world. That's what happens. Okay. So, are we... Okay, here we
Yeah,
go.
we're
We're good.
yeah,
We're
because it
good?
popped up on my phone. Yeah, it's on my phone.
All right, perfect. So here we go. Let's start off by first introducing myself. I am Anna Romero. I am the voice and the creator. Wait, Gilligan's back. The voice and the creator behind Goddess Guidance. Now he's a meanie. So just so you guys know, if you guys see me get attacked, call 911 because he's mean. Or if you see me just flip the thing closed real quick, that's because shit went down and I have to go. Okay. Anyway, so I am Anna Romero, the voice and the creator behind Goddess Guidance. Today we are live. Gilligan, move. We are. He's right here. Okay,
I know
Gilligan.
I can see him.
Today we are live with my niece Liz, aka this divine spiritual babe. Fuck me. Okay. Just hold it
You're
for a
in
second.
his way.
Dude, I can't even like you can't do anything. This is his world. I'm literally just visiting. Okay. Everything's just off to a rickety start. Shit. All right.
The
So
sign.
today we are here because we have my niece Liz here live with us today because number one, she's going to share with us where she's at with her spiritual journey first and foremost, and then secondly, she's going to do this the honor of doing live mini readings. Okay, for anybody that's interested. So if you guys are here, please let us know that you are here in the chat so that we can. Oh, you won't. Oh yeah, you'll be able to see the chat because you have it up, right?
No, I mean, I guess I could. Hold on.
Yeah, you can have it up so you can see what's going on too. So let us know that you are
Okay.
here. Otherwise, we won't know. That's pretty much how it's going to go. So you have our in the description. You can find our contact information. You find my website, which is annamromero.com, as well as my niece's website. Hers is way too long, but it's in the description. I can't. You got a
Yeah.
lot of characters in your name, but it is in the description. You can find us. Our social media contacts are on there, as well as our website. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So as you did you just yawn?
Yeah, I did. I'm
Wow.
tired.
We do that here right now? Is that what we do?
Yeah, I'm
Ay,
tired.
ay. Okay, so as you all
Okay.
know, I offer intuitive readings. In addition to that, I also am open to, I guess, spiritual mentorship, so to speak, because I'm not necessarily doing sessions just yet, but I am open to spiritual mentoring, and that just comes in various forms. That can come in a conversation, that can come in the form of an extended reading. It just depends on what I'm being guided to do in terms of, talk to my guides and my ancestors and whatnot, because really, we can say we're going to do something, but if our ancestors come through or our guides come through and say, it's not going to happen, then it's just not going to happen. I mean, we can choose to do it, but to go against what our team is saying defeats the purpose of even being on a spiritual path. It defeats the purpose of acknowledging your divine spiritual support team, because in doing so, you're understanding that they're here to guide you. They're here because they know better for you. They know what's best, I guess. They're always looking out for our highest and greatest good. So when they say something, it's because, like, look, according to your chart of your highest and greatest good, that's not on it. And so again, we have free will, but usually most of us just choose to listen. But I digress. So currently not offering sessions, but open to spiritual mentoring. In addition to that, I do host a monthly women's circle. This month's women's circle is going to be on April 23rd at 6 p.m. It's a Friday, always on a Friday. April 23rd at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Remember that you have to sign up in order to attend, because that is how you'll be receiving the Zoom link to the group, the gathering, okay? Let's see, what else? Oh, just so you guys know, remember we have an April shower special going on for the entire month of April. 30-minute reading is $33.33. So be sure to jump on that, because yes, it is for the entire month of April, but April's going to go by and it's going to be over before you know it, and I won't be extending this one because I've had it on for an entire month. So if you want to get in on that, go ahead and visit my website and you can book directly from the website. Okay? Let's see what else. Oh, I didn't bring my book. Let's see. There is actually on a video prior to this, or maybe the one before it, there is the list of the April announcements. You guys can go take a listen on there, and it'll tell you everything that you need to know for the month of April, including today's live. So let's get back to Liz. Of course, I'm gonna call you Elizabeth. I don't call you Liz, but
Yeah.
I would like you to introduce yourself and then just tell us who you are and what's the haps. So, floor is yours.
Um, Hi, I'm Liz. I am the creator of the Divine Spiritual Babe, formerly known as the Coffee Hour with Liz, formerly known as the Crunch Time Coffee Talk. And I am basically on a spiritual path, creating content with a message that I am trying to relate to everybody so that way they can really figure out how to be the best version of themselves. Currently, I am exploring the idea of doing readings for people. I just haven't jumped the gun yet, and this is kind of like a make it or break it for me day to see if I'm going to be doing that.
Okay, hold on. You're literally gonna. So, if it's a break it day, that's it for you. You're just not gonna
That,
explore it any longer.
I don't know. I'm going back and forth, and my guides have really told me like, yo, we've literally given you every sign. What more do you want for you to be able to do these readings? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not ready. Maybe I don't know enough. Maybe I'm not really talking to my guides. Maybe I'm just crazy. Like it's,
Well, what do you think you know enough means? I'm sorry. Finish
I don't,
introducing yourself, and then we'll dive into those topics because
oh, okay,
we have a
okay.
lot of topics we need to cover today.
Um, oh, okay. So that is what I basically do as far as my content, finding a better version of yourself. And the reason why I want to resonate this message so much is because I am currently going on my spiritual awakening, but as well, I have been, the last 9 years trying to find a better version of myself than who I used to be. So on my website, I do blog posts. I kind of just share whatever thoughts that I may have, any guidance that I have or any readings or anything like that. As far as my YouTube channel, it's a little mixture of both. I do kind of like a pick a card. I do readings, messages. I do my podcast episodes upload on there as well. And then as well as on my podcast channel, I do whatever resonates with me that day. So if you guys are looking for anything to better your life or that's something that resonates with you, then go ahead and check me out. All the links are down below, or as well as in my Instagram. My link is in my bio. And then, yeah, that was my introduction.
Good. Well, thank you for being here, and thank you for coming on here and spending some time with us and sharing everything that you're going through. Because really, I mean, you can't even tell your story without kind of doing the readings. Because, like you said, this is a part of your spiritual development. You've gotten to a place where it's time to share. You have to share. You know. Hold on. Let me.
Yes,
I'm speaking of sharing. I did you share the link? Because that's what I'm doing right now.
I shared it on Facebook.
On the Cara Libra.
Yes.
Okay. Also, since we're going to be doing, Elizabeth's going to be doing live mini readings for us. Everybody that gets a reading with her, I'm going to take your name down and I'm going to put it into a hat because I will be doing a live raffle today. So, and today's raffle item is the Archetype cards by Carolyn Miss. This is the raffle item. Wait, there it is.
Ooh.
Is it blurry?
No, I can
Oh,
see it.
this is the raffle item. So anybody that gets a live mini reading is going to go into the hat to win this gift today, okay? But we have so much to talk about. I'm excited. It's been a long time since we've talked, and last time it was just a little bit of an update as to where you were with your podcast. If you were, I mean, you had come along in your spiritual journey, but it wasn't like it is now. It was so much more it's like it was not as in depth, or it wasn't necessarily in this direction. It was just kind of moving forward with a general direction because you weren't, I can tell you weren't really clear as to what it is, what was the point of it just yet, like what was the point of you evolving just yet.
Yeah.
Sorry, my daughter has a gaming keyboard, so it's very loud. Can you guys hear
Yeah, I can hear
it?
it.
Yeah, it's really loud. She got this whole thing set up. Okay, so we did that. Wait, what happened? Okay, yeah. All right. So before there are so many questions I had. Um, let's go back to what you were saying about you don't know enough to do readings or something along those lines. What does that mean to you? Why do you feel like you don't know enough?
Um, I feel like because I am in the beginning of my spiritual journey that I feel as though I am not, let's say like for you in comparison, I'm not at the level per se that you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that it's not good to compare my point A with your point B because we all start differently and we're all in, different part of our journeys. But I know that I'm being called to do readings. I just don't allow myself to believe that I'm capable of doing them. And also I'm nervous about giving the wrong guidance, like, um
Well,
and I know that
that takes practice. It's not the wrong guidance, but it's just not the message. Because
yeah,
that was my biggest fear too, and it's like I had to walk the walk. If I was gonna really trust, then I have to just trust. I have to just jump into the pool, and I know for a fact that my intuition is the first thing that comes up. It's the first thing that comes through. Anything like a couple seconds after that, that's our over analytical aspect. That's our ego coming in, trying to rationalize it, trying to make sense of it. And so that's where the problem
yep,
starts. Sorry, I'm just trying to share. That's where the problem starts, so to speak. That's where the resistance comes in. Because it's like, well, this said, struggling with self care, but then the few thoughts later said, well, what if you're not struggling? What if you are doing it? And it's like all those extra things. That's what it's like the building blocks to resistance, basically, is what that is.
yep,
And it's difficult. But remember, if you're going to if you're going to say that you are acknowledging and you're open to receiving guidance from your divine spiritual support team, then do that. You have to surrender. Understand that if you don't surrender, meaning you're gonna just let them take the wheel and seriously just serve as the telephone, that you're gonna have to let them talk. You're gonna have to. You can't just pick and choose, and that's hard because when
yeah,
it feels like, well, wait, was that me? Was that not me? You just gotta literally close your eyes and jump into the pool. And I know that
yeah,
saying it, everybody hears something different when I say that, but I guess that's the easiest way that I could explain it. That's how I was able to get through it because it's like, well, here we go. I'm just gonna do it. Here goes nothing. I'm obviously
yeah,
gonna be some. There's gonna be if I'm misinterpreting the message, my guides are gonna tell me like, stop. You're not doing this right. Stop.
yeah,
And I had to trust that too. So they're gonna take care of you no matter what. So you get what I'm saying? But like you were
yeah,
saying, you went back. You were saying that you don't don't compare your point A with my point B. But also, something to remember is that it doesn't matter what my point B looks like or your point A or your point B because we're here for different reasons.
yeah,
So what you're capable of doing may not be something that I'm capable of doing because that's not my spiritual gift or that's not my purpose. So if we have this handful of gifts and say we have similar ones, well, you're going to be asked to use yours in a different way because that's you. You get what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, so even to that extent, you really just can't compare in general because our sauces are different. You can't compare the sauce. You're working with Alfredo sauce and I'm spaghetti sauce. Of course you can't compare. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
How do you feel about that? Share with me your thoughts on that.
About what? About spaghetti
About the
sauce.
comparisons and being here for like being here to use our even the same gifts in a different manner, in a different purpose, a different way, I should say.
Well, and I agree with you because like for me, I feel like as far as my spiritual journey, I have been called to share my experiences of like going through depression and being a mom and being a mom of two, which I never understood why I was always so caught up on being a stay at home mom. Like, why was there a reason why, why it just kept popping up? Like, I'm just a stay at home mom. I'm this. So, comparing my message to yours, of course, it's going to look differently. But really, I feel like all of us as a collective have the same general message. We want to become better versions of ourselves. We want to be on track with our divine, spiritual team that we have. And we just ultimately want to live a positive and free and peaceful life. I mean, that's really all we ask for.
I agree.
Um, in the spiritual community, that is from what I've learned. So all of us may look different, we may say different things, but I feel like as a whole it's one and the same. We're just trying to spread as much positivity as we possibly can. So
I agree. But I think that even then, it still can literally be like night and day because,
yeah.
like you said, spreading positivity is definitely what you're here for and you're doing. If say I'm taking away like the intuitive reading aspect of it, if focusing on just my curanderismo, I'm not here to spread positivity. I'm here to give you the information that you need to be able to heal yourself. You get what I'm saying? So yes,
Yeah.
positivity is important, but I mean, I don't feel like it's the message to be spread. I guess it's because I get a different aspect of it. Anyway,
A different view.
yeah,
Yeah.
ultimately, yeah, wanting to be the best versions of ourselves that we can, and that includes getting mentoring sessions and readings, and going to a curandera, or talking with our ancestors, or having past life regressions, or the akashic records, whatever. That is ultimately the point: is to find out what the heck the problem is, or what get some clarity about our in our lives, so that we can evolve and become those better versions. So yes, and you know what? A lot of times people, I don't know if you've had this experience, but I've had the experience where people almost cease going to a practitioner, a spiritual practitioner, almost to literally do the spiritual bypassing. Like they don't want to do the work, they want to go get a reading so they can be told what to do, and then that's
Yep.
it. They can get told what to do, or they can get told that what they're doing is right and they don't have to do that, address the work. They don't have to put the hard work in.
That was me.
Wow, since you mentioned it.
That was me in the beginning. That was me when I think when you first started this whole spiritual path. That was me when I would go to the Enchanted Cottage, and I remember I was like really, really, really just lost in my life, and I had this whole thing of like, who am I as a person? I'm lost. I'm have just this big hole that I just don't understand how to fill. And so I went and I had a reading with her, and she was like, "Oh, you're gonna go back to school. You're gonna have a son, and you're gonna do all this." So she mapped out my life, and I was like, "Okay, this is how my life is supposed to be. This is how I'm supposed to live it. So I'm gonna live it this way." And then when it didn't go that way, I was like, okay, what's happening here? Like, why? There's still all this negative that's happening. Why am I not having a child yet? Or, I was taking the messages that I felt like I wanted to apply to my life, because that is what I felt like would fill the void in my life. And I would totally skip the fact of like healing and all this stuff, all this shadow work stuff that I had to work on first before I could get these things that I wanted, or these manifestations that I desired in my life. And so I would totally skip the legwork, and
Spiritual bypassing.
yeah,
Yes.
and I would go straight to, I am going to have a baby. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And so, therefore, I was one of those people. And it took me a long time to be here in this moment to realize you got to do the work first in order to get the results.
Well, in order to get the information, because
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
never get to the. It's like the golden egg never cracks open until you do the work, because the work is
yeah,
what cracks the egg open. So yeah, that's. I remember for me it was I didn't understand what my shadow work was. It's like I'm growing, I'm here, things suck, I learn from them. So what am I supposed to be working on? Not
yeah,
realizing that that was the work. It's like I'm
yeah,
actually going through the work, but because things had happened and they had finished, I felt like, well, there's nothing for me to work on. But it's like it never dawned on me like I literally just did it. That was where
yeah,
I was. I didn't get what I was supposed to be working on. But in hindsight, vision is 2020, and you can see like, oh, I get it. I see that, or there it is, and when I look back, it's like, ugh, I love and I hate shadow work. I hate it because I don't like the way it feels, but I
yeah,
love it because I know that I'm there. it's gonna be better. Like I'm in the middle of it, but I know in a little bit it's gonna be better because all I'm doing is just going through shadow work. You get what I'm
Yeah, and
saying?
you can see the lessons that you know the universe is like, hey, look, this is what I was trying to
Mm-hmm.
show you, but you were too dang stubborn to be like, oh, I'm gonna do it the right way, and instead you're like, no, I'm gonna do it the hard way. So universe is like, okay, let me show you the hard way, and then here.
Yes, yes, yes. Now, did you? I know that you had in terms of with your. Hold on, I have to. I'm trying to write everything down that I was thinking of. Let's go back real quick to the when you were talking about the your podcast and your blog. Where are you? What? Okay, I know for we've already talked about this, and your topics are inspired or suggested by whatever communication or whatever it is that you're working on with your guides, right? With your team.
Yeah.
So, but how does that come about? It's like you could be working with them, but how do you, from that experience, how are you saying, "Oh, there's my topic," and you're taking it out? How are you doing that?
Um, I technically, even before my spiritual journey started, I would get downloads when I first started my podcast.
Well, see
Uh,
that what's your spiritual journey? It's been the whole
yeah,
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I didn't know that back then. I didn't know that until I had asked you one day. But well, I would wake up. This was back in 2018, I want to say, or 19, and I would wake up and I would be like, "Oh, this is what I'm going to talk about today." And so with my podcast, it's kind of the same thing. Or I will go through something specific in that point in time, and I feel like, okay, this is what I want to talk about. And I will mold the title how I see fit, after I record it.
Mm-hmm.
And since I've gotten my Oracle cards, I kind of incorporate that into my podcast for my content message, basically. But in summary, I get downloads. I just wake up and or I'm going through a certain situation and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm trying to talk about. This is what I'm going to talk about today. This is it. Like this is what I'm going to talk about. And then I just go from there and I record it.
Are you Oh, I just lost it. Damn. Okay. Now I was literally gonna say something. What were you talking about? Oracle cards.
My podcast episodes, recording content.
Oh, dude, it was right there. I was ready to ask it, and now it's gone. Anyway, so it'll come back to me. But I have you in this your develop your spiritual development. Have ancestors played a role in your life? Ancestor veneration or ancestor communication. Has that come up for you?
Um,
And
so
if so, what does it look like?
recently I started to work with my ancestors, but working with my ancestors, not necessarily with my content. It was more um, with my depression. If you guys are not familiar with me as a person, I have been um, kind of experiencing, well, not kind of, I've been experiencing depression since um, probably about 6 years now. And it just got a little bit tougher after I had my second daughter. So I developed postpartum depression. And so when I would get readings with you, and my guides would kind of like hint, like, okay, altars, ancestors, but you don't have to worry about that right now. It'll come when time comes. And I'm like, okay, so when's that time? And then all of a sudden, I wanted to make an altar. I got my self care cards, and it was like, make an altar, make an altar. So I made an altar. I figured it out, try to do it. So I made one. And then after that, one day I found this meditation on YouTube or the Apple Music, and it said to meet your spirit guides or your team or whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. So then I went and I was having a really, really, really low day. Like that was one of my not better days, and so I went. and I basically meditated, and I got to meet my ancestors. And my ancestors for me are not to work with content or anything creative, but it's more to kind of reassure me that I'm going to be okay in this world. And then my ancestors can consist of, my grandpa,
Which is my
and
dad,
then
right?
yeah, which is your dad,
Yeah.
and then your grandpa and your grandma, which is my great grandma, my great grandpa, and then as well as my grandmother's mom, which is my great grandma, and then my I don't know who got. Well, I call one of.
He's our cousin.
Okay, so I call him Theo,
Yeah.
and then my grandpa's brother, my other Theo. And so they are basically my ancestor team that kind of just, comes in when I need them. But when I met them, or when I meditated, I got to meet them and experience them. And I was young when my grandpa died, so I never really gotten a chance to meet him. But once I met them and they embraced me, I just felt so loved.
What do
Like
you
I
mean
felt,
embraced you? Did they physically embrace you? Like, was there an actual
yeah,
hug or
yeah. They
anything?
they they hugged me and they accepted me and they were like kissing me and they were like, "Ay, mija, just come here." And so, but they were doing it because of the state of or the state of how I was, because I was so
It was
just I was low basically. And they were just hugging me and I felt so loved, and all I remember is I just broke down on my knees and I started crying in my meditation.
mm-hmm.
And they were like, "You're gonna be fine." My grandpa's like, "You're gonna be okay. Just know that you are important in this world, and you are worth it, and you are, you're fine." Like, they were just giving me so much motivation. And after that day, I was like, okay, this is it. Like, I felt for once in my life that I felt accepted, as odd as that to say, but I felt so accepted by my ancestors. My ancestors just going and embraced me. I felt so accepted, and I felt like I wasn't alone anymore. I felt like, okay, cool. And my grandpa, which is your dad, he's very much with me all the time. He's kind of like my motivator. He's like, "You got this." The phrase that he says is "es un Romero," right? That's how he says it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what he basically tells me, and so
Well, it's
that's
true because Romero's,
yeah, yeah,
we are the shit. Just so you know.
yeah. So
It's
so
like
he
if
tells
you, it's
me,
like if you're a Romero. Sorry, real quick. If you're a Romero,
yeah,
you walk around with this understanding that what you do in life comes from a place of like fire. It comes from a place of like I
yeah.
can't explain it. But anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Well, you come from a place of like pride and fire, and you have this aspiration to just succeed and do
Mm-hmm.
everything that you
Yeah.
think that you can. And I never understood why you guys always said that, because I am technically, my last name is named after my dad. I was never a Romero, but I have Romero blood in me. And I just never could understand why.
Hold on. Let's adjust that sentence. You said
Okay.
I was never a Romero. I had Romero blood. How about I've always been a Romero, but carried my dad's last name.
Yes, that's
Let's
what I
do
meant.
that. Okay. Okay.
uh, yeah, and so I never understood why you guys always use that phrase like all the time, like
I'm a Romero. We're
everywhere.
Romeros.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I was just like, okay, like I never understood. It's just
You're like
okay.
arrogant goofballs.
I'm like, okay, like it is what it is. And then I met with my ancestors and I got to talk to my grandpa, and he was like, like, yes, like you are a Romero, like you can do this. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it. I could do this. But yeah, but it
it's
just, yeah, it was really just, it was really good. So I mean, long story short, that's what I work with my ancestors with, is basically to help me with my depression. Um, and yeah,
hey,
What?
On YouTube, are they? Can they see us? Cause
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have, but you can see it on your phone.
yeah. It's on. No, it's on my
Cause
thing.
on my screen, on my phone, it's not showing, but it is show. You can see it though, right?
Yeah, it's on my computer.
Okay. I don't understand because on my phone it's just coming up black. See, it's just black. There's nothing there.
Are you clicking the old link or the new
No,
one?
it's the new one that I just posted because I can hear us talking.
No.
I
I
deleted. I
have.
tried to go back and delete all the old links.
Oh no, I have it right here. It's like going right now as we're going.
Hmm. I wonder why my phone's just misbehaving. Oh well.
Mm.
As long as I know that they can see us. Um. Okay. It's still on the ancestors. So okay. So you had this experience and you understood. You understood that you never walk alone because we don't. It took me a long time to believe that because it's like okay, connecting with my ancestors wasn't easy. I didn't understand it. And it's like, well, I'm doing this. I'm lighting the candle. I'm doing this. What is it? And
Mhm.
it was a process for me, and I still work on that. But it's like I don't know why I still have like that bit of resistance, and I'm not sure why. But anyway, um, having had that experience and now moving forward on your in your spiritual development, how has it changed from before?
Working with my ancestors or
Yeah, now
just.
that you've had that experience with your ancestors and you work with them on a regular basis, now what does your spiritual journey look like? How do now that they're there, what does your day look like or your week or your thought process look like compared to before you were working with them? Because I know it's made a difference. I'm sure it's made a difference.
Yeah. I mean, it has made a huge difference, but I just try to. Not that I try to like ignore them, but sometimes I try to tune them out because they tend to. Um, because I am a person that feels a lot of energy in people.
An empath,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah, and so I when they're trying to communicate all at once because they're all trying to talk and say like, "Hey, this is what we want to tell you." We have so much because now that I have discovered my gifts and stuff, they're all like, "Hey, yes, let's
Mm-hmm.
go!" Like she figured it out, and so it was just like a rush of just like I
Like someone turned
felt.
on the volume and all of a sudden you can hear it.
Yeah, and like gates were just the water was just flushing in, and so it was very hard for me to like breathe and stuff like that because I felt all this like energy, and I was just like, okay. So I would ask mom, which is my grandmother, which is your
My
mom,
mom.
and so I would ask her, I was like, what do I do? Like they're just all at once, and I'm getting they were just too much for me, because I was just barely letting them in, and so mom was like, tell them they need to take turns. They need to do it one at a time. And so I was like, okay, and I told them, and they got upset at me. And so when I told them that, I got a massive, like a quick pain in my head right here. And I was like, ow, okay, I get it that you're upset, but this is what I have to do. I have to set up boundaries because this is just not going to work out. Like, something is not going to do good for me. And um, so I really don't tune them out, but I really just hear my grandpa from time to time, pop in, but he's really always with me. He's the main ancestor that is really, really close to me, and I'm not quite sure why, but I just think it's
See,
because we were.
it doesn't have to be a why. They
Oh, but
Ancestors are going to walk with you because they're going to walk with you. There doesn't have to be a why. It's because
yeah,
they have been the chosen ancestor to be, say, for example, the main.
walks with me, and I feel him like on my shoulder, or if I'm having like a bad day, I feel just his presence. And so I really don't have to work with them because I know that he's with me on a daily basis, so he knows what's happening. And he chimes in when he needs to, when he feels like he needs to chime in.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, the past, I want to say a couple of weeks, he's kind of been a little silent just because I have been doing a lot of shadow work and healing. in my life, and so he's kind of just taken a step back because I feel like he wants me to see a different perspective of what I'm working on, things like that. And so that's basically what he has been doing.
So now let me ask you this. You mentioned that you said you told them I have to set this boundary because this is what works for me. How you have boundaries have not been easy for you ever, just in
No.
general. So how did you do that? How all of a sudden now you were able to set that boundary? Because I mean, my mom and I and your mom, we're constantly, we've always expressed to you that boundaries, these boundaries. If you don't set boundaries in your life, then there is nothing. You
Yeah.
can't create or control or mold your life. So why were you able to do it now with them? When in fact
Uh
they actually gave you a headache because they weren't down with it. It's like they actually
they
gave you a
they were not.
consequence for it. So why were you able to do it now?
I guess because I felt like they I don't know, I guess for once in my life I felt like they were actually listening to me, like they genuinely cared about what I had to say. So because I saw that how it was affecting my health, that I couldn't breathe, that it was just too much for me, and I was just getting not stressed out, but I had a lot of anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, you guys just need to wait. And this is what I said in my brain. You guys have to take turns. You guys have to give me some time right now. I'm barely stepping into this. Excuse me, and I need space. Like, just I need space. And that was it. That's all I did. I just felt like I was able to be assertive with them because I felt accepted with them. Now, in other aspects of my life,
You
that is
read my mind. I was like, let's go to part two of boundaries.
yeah, no. In other aspects of my life, boundaries is very still much. It's very hard for me to do, um, because, like I said, I am an empath, so I take energy from everybody, like including my husband, Chris.
So, what are you doing to shield yourself, to protect yourself? Because
um,
I even had a teacher's little sister had to do it. She's not as much into her spiritual journey like she would like at the beginning, but she has.
yeah,
I she oh my gosh, she's like when it comes to her spiritual gifts, they're like off the freaking chart. Just they are. So she already kind of knows what to do without me having to tell her. So now that she's like in her teens and she's creating her own life, like doing her own thing, she knows when she has to shield her energy. She knows when she has to shut people's, like if she's reading someone, she knows she has to shut them down, or she knows when to read. It's like she knows this all on her own, and that's like
yeah.
okay, just go on and move, move forward without me. So how did you even realize that you could protect yourself? You have to protect yourself because you're an empath and because everything is so intense. I mean, explain that. Share that with us.
I realized it when again I started to learn about empaths and all this stuff and what it has to do with. But I also noticed that I mainly noticed it with my husband Chris. I noticed it with him that when he would have like a bad day, or I would feel like he was like in a bad mood or something like that, I would adapt to his mood in the sense of like I would take up his energy and I'd be like, okay, now I'm angry. Now I'm frustrated. I'm upset. And so by taking all this like bad energy and this negative energy and through all the people's day, I would notice that I would get really fatigued. I would feel very anxious. I would feel just very frustrated. And so that's how I knew that I needed to, after figuring out I was empath, I knew that I needed to do something to, in fact, protect my energy. And what I do is basically I just use my crystals.
Which crystals did you decide to use?
I use the clear quartz, I use the amethyst, and I use the rose quartz. And that's basically the ones that I really use. And I kind of just sit and I listen to like healing videos. I found like an ASMR one.
Ooh,
which
that I
is
don't see how you can handle that.
it's hard because it gives me anxiety,
It fright.
but
You know why it bothers me real quick is because that's how I hear spirits. Like that way,
whispering.
that sound. That is how I hear. Like the not
Oh,
like the whisper, but the when your
the
lips like the that. That's how I
yes,
hear them, and I hear them like here, and then I could feel it like here. So when I hear ASMR, it's like it gives me anxiety. Like I
yes, it
can't
gives
do
me
it because
anxiety.
it's like it doesn't
Yes.
give me anxiety. It's like the
Oh,
anxiety,
not me.
like something. It's like I can't. I don't want
Yeah,
to because that's how I hear spirit. So if it's not a spirit, I don't want to deal with that sound. It's like
yeah,
there's a feeling that comes with that sound. With the that it's like I can't explain it, but I
yeah.
can't. I don't see how you could do ASMR. I don't even freaking know.
I
Even if they're like
only.
eating a bell pepper and shit, like that's
Oh
like
no, I
I
don't.
can't.
I
I can't
don't.
do ASMR.
I don't watch it for the food. I found this because I look at this tarot reader on YouTube, and she recommended a
Reiki.
uh Reiki healer who does like energy work.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the readings that I do for myself, I've been told that I needed to clear my energy field and stuff like that. So I thought, listening to one of those videos would actually help protect me. And it actually helped, like, it helped calm me, and kind of like, get me back into center. But yeah, so I try to do an array of things. I've taken a bath as well, like a cleansing bath to cleanse
Baño.
my,
Yeah.
yeah. So I've done that.
What did you use?
Um,
What did you use for your baño?
just the essential oils and the salt, the Epsom salt.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a bubble bath mixture, and I use that. And then also what I do, which kind of works, but I listened to this meditation one time, and it said that to picture, like your negative energy
Mm-hmm.
kind of just flowing off of you in the shower. So
That's
what
a
I did
shower
one day,
meditation. Yep.
yeah, so what I did one day was I was in the shower, and this is when, like, I was still like tapping into like everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I would picture myself, and I would just picture like just black running off of me, like just everywhere, just down the shower and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden I would see like gold light, like gold liquid or whatever, just
Mm-hmm.
kind of spewing on me. And that kind of helped as well, kind of like clear my energy field.
Mm-hmm.
That helps a lot. And I kind of do that in the shower. So that's how I do that.
You mentioned Epsom salt. Epsom salt is a very powerful cleanser. It's very, very powerful. It's like a sage, so to speak, for a bath.
Yeah,
Epsom salt is very, very, very strong. So, I mean, you don't have to add it, but honestly, it's like a good, just universal base for a lot of baños. You know what's funny? I know baños to me, they feel knowing about them and how to do them feel natural to me. I don't know
yeah,
why, because my mom, my mom, she's a curandera and doesn't realize that all these years that people have been coming to her like, this is wrong with me, this is wrong with me. Okay, drink this, take this. My mother is a
yeah,
curandera and doesn't even realize it. I aspire to
yeah,
be my mom. I want to be the person that people call. I want to grow up to be my mother, and she is a
yeah,
curandera. It's like she never even, I guess, acknowledged it, but maybe that's why it comes a little bit naturally to me. But because when I think about, like, a spiritual bath, it's like, oh, I'm feeling this. I could use this, 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 and this. But I never do it. I have never taken a spiritual bath in my life, which is ironic because I talk about them all the time.
yeah,
I've never given myself one, and I know I need like a complete whole aura resetting shit. I need to like just reset it all, and I just
yeah.
don't. I just don't. Especially because like the um, spiritual path that I'm being called to now, it is in the direction of ATR, which is an African traditional religion, and
Uh
so
huh.
spiritual baths are like they're like a must have. They're a must do. And even though I'm
Oh,
like barely a novice, even like a beginner novice, I still haven't done it, and I don't know why. And I guess that calls to my commitment to my spiritual development. That's part of, you have to commit to your spiritual development is the foundation of everything, and it requires a certain level of commitment, and that in itself is shadow work. And I guess that's where I am, because it's like my I focus so much on the fact that I have to commit that I don't commit, if that makes sense. But anyway,
Yeah,
yeah,
I do
spiritual
that
baths
too.
are spiritual baths are oh god, spiritual baths are going to take me to a whole bunch of different places. Okay, so yes, spiritual baths. Let's go on this little journey of spiritual baths. So yes, they come naturally, and when I do a reading or when people ask me questions, I don't often recommend them. But if my guides are saying tell her, just tell her to do this, tell her, it's like okay, I got to tell you, and so I recommend it. And I think the last time or the time before last, somebody, it was a family member, we were talking, having just a conversation. So I said, hey, in addition to this candle work, take this baño. This baño's for you. And so I gave it to her, and a year later, she never did it. And it's like, don't ask me for stuff if you're not going to do it. Because
Yep.
having that conversation with you, anything in regards to, being of service to people for using our dones or our spiritual gifts, it takes our energy. It depletes us. And even just having that 45-minute conversation just through text, like casually, it still drains me. It still takes time
Yep.
out. And it's like if you're so intent on, like, I don't know, I keep dating losers, or I don't know, this person's just so angry with me. I think somebody put roots on him or somebody did something to him. That's why he's so mean to me. No, how about you talk with him and figure out why the hell he's mad at you? Talk. Have that conversation. You're never going to know. The answer isn't always curses or hexes or roots or mal de ojo. That's not always the answer. Sometimes you did something wrong or there is an
Yeah.
issue. Have that conversation. But even aside from that, it's like when people go to practitioners or spiritual advisors or healers, mentors, anything, light workers, people don't realize that it honestly is an energetic exchange and a depletion for us. So when people say, you're charging for readings, I am, because every single minute I spend with you is like an ounce of energy that is sucked out of me.
Yep.
That's the thing. It's like you pay for people because of their labor. That's my labor. This is our labor, and it doesn't feel good. Just yesterday, I did this. I did this reading. I was invited to a cousin's house, and I went. Anyway, I did a reading for her mother-in-law, and I went in. It was like 45 minutes. I came out, and my cousin's like, "Wow, you look so tired. Are you okay?" I was like, "Girl." It was heavy, and it's like you don't realize
Yeah.
how much it's draining you until it's over, and then you're like, I need to go lay down. Like I need like a safe
Yeah.
power nap. People don't get
No,
that.
that's what I did. I did a pick a card reading on my channel, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna just try to do this because I wanted to do it. And once I was done, I was so exhausted that I had to go straight to bed, and I could not understand why. Like, that was the first time in this whole journey since I started doing readings that I was just so like I was drained.
Get used to
Um
it. Get used to it.
yeah, and when I was doing it, I felt so much energy. Like I felt it like in my chest, and it's like I couldn't breathe. I was like, "Whoa." It's so like cool, but it's so just like I can't breathe. And a lot of times when I feel too much energy, that's my reaction is I can't like
Mhm.
my breathing is labored, and I'm like trying to catch my breath from it. But man, it was just I did not realize how much
Mhm.
energy I exhausted, and I only did two piles.
Yep.
I was like, I'm done. Like I'm tired. I'm so exhausted.
That's why I don't know if you guys. I'm sure everybody when they see my lives, they see that I run out of breath or I stumble on my words and I just stop. I'm like, and I stop.
Yeah.
It's because that's what's happening. That right there is
Yeah.
what you explain is happening. So I have to stop. It's like I can't. I have to just stop for a second, actually take a breath, just a couple of breaths on my own, and then start again. Because, like you explained it in the midst of the reading, it's like our channel, we're so open and we're channeling so much. For me, it's like this high. Like I am on this high. Like I
Yeah.
don't even realize I'm talking. I don't even, it's like I'm on the inside of my body looking out, and it's like my body's doing all this talking. And in my head, it's like, I don't even know if this makes sense. But when I go back and watch it, it's like, I did not even realize I had said all of that Some of it, yes,
Yeah.
but not so
Yeah.
much. And it's like this high that when I'm done, it's like it feels so good. Like I don't know, ran 10 marathons and I finished all of them and I placed first. It's like that's how
Yeah.
it feels. And then like 5 minutes later, it's like, oh, okay, here I go. I'm tired.
Yeah. It's like a coffee, like you got that energy and you got all this, you drink this coffee and it kicked in and you're just like, yeah, I got a caffeine high, I'm ready to go. And then after you just crash and you're
Yep.
like, okay, I'm gonna need a nap for like a week.
Yep. That's exactly how it feels. And that's great. But yeah, that's, yes. Another thing that I know, like we were talking about, what were we going? Vinyls, and we went through all of that. What was that? What we were
Yeah.
doing? Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's backtrack. So let's talk about. Well, okay. You mentioned. Okay, no. First, let's go to the people that inspire you, the people that plant the seeds in you, the people that help support and nourish your growth. How do you? I know for me, the majority of it is on social media. I follow a lot of people. I have my business account. I follow a lot of people that are they are on the path that I'm heading down, or we're in the same place. It's similar, or if not the same as my path. I started following them because I saw this one person that I followed just because I knew them, and then this person followed that person, so it was like a networking type situation. So, and that's how I
Yeah.
ended up following everybody. It's like I was just guided to them. How did you decide? Because I know that you use YouTube as a lot of your reference, a lot of reference point for you. A lot of the way you learn a lot. That is where you learn a lot from, is from YouTube. How do you decide who it is that you're going to pick on YouTube and follow? Because I've looked at YouTube, when I say, like, I don't know, you look up one topic, like 37 different people come up. And it's like, how do you
Uh
know who it's going to be? Like, how do you decide what tarot person to watch? How do you decide what meditation to go to? It's like, how do you decide?
well, so for like for instance, for my purpose, because I was really on like a real like loophole of what's my purpose. I need to find my purpose. Tell
What
me
does
my
loophole
purpose.
mean? What does that mean?
Like you're going down the rabbit hole basically. Like
Okay.
I took one video and I went down to every other video. So what I do first is I go to the one with the most views, just because that obviously they're offering something that maybe like a smaller YouTuber would not offer.
Well,
um
time out. Time out. I used to
well
think that. And then, well, two reasons. One, the person that I used to follow turned out she was a freaking fraud. And I would watch her videos and I would just watch them and they made sense, but I can't say that I ever absorbed anything. But turned out she was a
yeah,
fraud. Like, I'm like, what the heck? Like, who knew, right?
yeah,
Secondly, I think of like, wait a minute. If I use that theory, I wouldn't watch my own videos. That's what I started
yeah,
to think about all of a sudden. So I'm
yeah.
like, I'm not gonna use that theory anymore because I was leaving myself out. So I was like, okay, just kidding. I'll have to think of something else to start using.
Yeah, well, but I mean, I still go based off of that, but normally the ones with the most views don't always resonate with me.
Oh,
So I do go to the ones that have the least amount of views. But once I click on them, I'm like, okay, I pick the pile that most, I feel drawn to. I use my intuition. And then I go and I pick the pile and I listen to the reading and I see like, okay, does this really tell me things? And so I've gone through like a bunch of tarot card like readers and stuff like that I've seen. But I would go to like one reader and really I watch I want to say like four or five readers on YouTube. And those are the ones that most resonate with me and that I follow on Instagram. And that's basically how I choose. And I feel like the message, if I don't see that the message is clear or I can't go about on how to make a decision, or my guides aren't directly talking to me through them, I tend to stray away from them. And there's this one reader where and she's like a psychic, and a channeler and stuff like that. And she's really good, and she did this video and she was like, okay, I'm going to tell you that the cards that you use are just a piece of cardboard. It's you channeling the message. This is just something that is for props, like just to be like, because people want to see the card, they think this is where
Mm-hmm.
we're getting the message. And so she was like, I'm going to tell you that I could just channel just because, and so she picked a bear and a hat, and she was like, okay, choose which one that you feel best resonates with you. And it just so happens that I resonated with both, which happens sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I get more than one message. So I went to the first one, and the first one was like, my guides were like, yo, you need to chill out on the tarot readings. Okay, you need, like they were literally talking to me like they do when I channel.
Mm-hmm.
They were very forceful. They were like, okay, you know what you have to do already. You know what decision you have to make. And I was like, okay, this
Doesn't
is
that
what,
sound
and
familiar?
yeah, and I was just like, okay, so then that it makes me want to see what other content they have to offer. And then I resonate with this other YouTuber as well. But that's really how I get my knowledge, and I kind of I pick and choose like what I want to like look up. They're like, oh, look up this. And so I've looked into like my birth chart. I looked into astrology. I've looked into, it's like YouTube has basically opened up just all this stuff that I didn't know that was part of this journey. And it's kind of cool because you get to learn about all this stuff. So that's basically where I get my information from. I'll follow them, and I'll maybe keep up with them on social media, but it's really through YouTube is where I really can listen to their stuff.
Have you started? Did you ever start creating a journal to start follow? To start like taking notes of the things. Did you ever just start keeping track, or taking notes, or creating like a reference notebook for yourself? Did you ever start doing that?
No, I didn't, and
Are you going to start?
I probably won't, just because I have it like, for me, I have my knowledge in my brain and I
Mm-hmm.
know what I have to remember or all these things. And I can't, like, even journaling, I try to do it, but I can't. Like,
Yeah,
it's just
I understand.
it's it's not for me. I can't. And the dream journal, they want me to keep a dream journal, and I just cannot. Like, I because I all of a sudden started to have vivid dreams, just one day randomly, and they were like, keep a dream journal, and I was like, okay, and I did it for 2 days, and that was it.
I
Because
have to
I
remember
remember,
my dreams, and not only
oh,
that, because they say when you wake up from your dream, or if you're woken up from your dream, keep that little notebook by your bed, and pick it up and start writing. I'm not even
yeah.
awake enough to be able to do that.
See, okay, so for me, these past like vivid dreams, I remember them because they're so like what the heck? Oh, did this was this really happening? And what I do for me is I Google it. Like, if I see synchronicities or I see, my dream doesn't like make sense to me or want to figure it out, I'll Google it. And there's a lot of like blogs and, all that stuff telling you like, this is what your dream means if this or this. So that's the way that I like see it. I remember it and I just put it in my brain and I'm like, okay, I can apply this where it needs to be applied, and then I'll go from there. So it just, for me, I just cannot keep the dream journal. I can't journal, especially with two kids. I can't journal, especially in the morning either. I can't journal. It's just hard for me.
Yeah, I can imagine. So I want you to give me a reading.
Oh, okay.
Did that make you nervous?
Yeah.
I want you to give me a reading. So I am open to you giving me a general reading.
Okay.
Tell me when you're
Uh,
ready. What do you need? What do you need from me? As your client, what is it that you need from me?
um, I mean, nothing. You said you wanted to. a general reading. I can already feel your energy.
What does it feel like?
Um,
Tell me what it feels like. Share with me.
um, Nothing. It feels strong. Like I feel like you have some excitement, and I don't know. I just feel it. Like I just feel like as soon as you were like, "Give me a reading," I was like, "Okay," and then boom, I felt your energy. I was like, "Okay, okay." So I guess I can give you a reading.
What deck are we working with? What are we doing here?
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a reading from three decks. So the Star Seed Oracle
Mm-hmm.
by Rebecca Campbell. I'm gonna do the Super Tractor, and then I'll give you a self care card as
Got
well.
it.
Okay, and you said you wanted a general?
General, please. Yes.
Oh snap. Okay.
Although, well, yeah, general.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh dang. Clearly they have a lot to say.
Ouch.
Okay. So you got four cards. Okay. So your first one is big picture thinking, pleads, energy, visionary, inspired ideas.
Pick the card up a
Okay,
little bit. Pick the go back. Let me see it. Okay. What's
you
that
see
last
it?
word?
Pleads,
Spell it for me.
plies,
I can't see. It's
p
blurry.
Pleiades, Pleiades,
Pleiades.
Pleiades, Pleiades energy.
Anyway, go ahead.
It um okay, so for me for this card, um I feel like you are not seeing like the big picture of your ideas. You're kind of like thinking about your ideas in this box, this tiny box, and you are very much resisting to opening the box and seeing all these amazing, beautiful ideas that are here. And you have these inspired ideas, you have these amazing and awesome and creative ideas that you just really like. I don't know why, but you were just very, very resistant towards it. You're just like, nah, I know exactly what I'm supposed to talk about. And I'm gonna stay in this box. I'm just gonna this is just the ideas that I want to talk about. So it's okay. Like all these ideas flowing in here, like these amazing and beautiful ideas that I know that will give me success and the abundance that I am looking for, that I want, but I'm just going to be here in my comfort zone. I'm going to just stay in this little tiny box. And I'm going to just stay here and resist, resist the change, I want to say, if that makes sense. Um, okay, so next one is Star Ancestors. Hidden secrets, lost wisdom, look a little deeper. So for me, this one, I feel like there's a lot more that your ancestors are wanting to tell you. They want you to dig a lot more deeper than what you have been digging. You're kind of like at the surface level of it. I kind of get like that one that you're saying, the African one. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they want you to dig deeper into that because they feel like um, you have so much potential to see what is there under the surface. Basically, like you're kind of just getting like these little facts about it, like, oh, it's this, um, but I don't know, it doesn't make sense.
You don't have to.
Um,
It doesn't have to make sense. Just say what's coming through.
it you need to dig deeper, basically. Dig deeper. as far as with your ancestors, as far as what they're trying to guide you to, what they're trying to tell you. You are holding yourself back of what infinite knowledge that you can gain from this research. And with the infinite knowledge of what your ancestors are trying to show you, and all that stuff, you'll get your bigger picture thinking. You'll get the inspired ideas that you need to create content for YouTube, and you'll be able to again get out of this box and grab all these amazing ideas because you have this big picture. You have like, wow, okay, now I know what you're trying to tell me. By me researching with you ancestors, you're trying to tell me that this is what I need to see. This is the picture that you want me to draw, so I can show these people what they need to know. And so the next one is breath of the cosmos, my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. Now this one,
Say that again.
one,
Say that again.
my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe.
Okay.
Breath of the cosmos. Okay, so this one screams you. This one I feel very much is you.
What does that
Um,
mean?
because you, for some reason in your energy, I feel like you very much, because of me knowing you as a person, you do in fact like to micromanage the universe.
What?
You you like to arrange the universe in these compartments so that way it may fit into what you think your big picture thinking is. You want to put the universe in these compartments, and the universe is like, no, what the heck? Like, this is not how it's supposed to go. Yes, you have these amazing, beautiful, special gifts, but you're
Mentalizing.
compartmentalizing us, and that's not what we want. We want you to let us have free range into doing what we're supposed to. You're resisting, and that's not what the universe is here for. The universe is to open you up and seeing these infinite amount of possibilities that you can possibly have. But you're sitting here and you're organizing the universe like it's file facts, that you are like, let me go ahead and go to my file of this specifically, and this is what I'm going to work on, because this is what I'm called to do. So they really want you to stop organizing so much, stop micromanaging, and really just kind of release control, so that way you may get these inspired ideas or get these answers that you're looking for as far as for your ancestors. And then lastly, your karmic relationships. Or Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, and conflict. Um, I'm trying to see what I get from this. So, to me, when I think of karmic relationships, I learned recently that karma is not what we actually think karma is. Karma is not so much bad things happen to people who do bad things. Karma is there's like good karma, and so and it's basically what from what I understand that karma is what you give to the universe is what you'll give back. And so for you, I feel like you have a lot of conflict in your relationships, and it's not so much like love relationships. It's more of like just relationships on a daily basis. Whatever relationship that you have in your life, you have a lot of conflict with it, and it's kind of restricting your soul growth, because you are kind of micromanaging it. You want this relationship to look a specific way. You want it to fit into your idea of what this specific relationship is supposed to look like. You are trying to control it. You're not allowing things to happen, things to flow, for the universe to work its magic in this particular relationship. And it doesn't necessarily mean love, but it just means like mother-daughter relationship, or mom-daughter relationship, you have a lot of conflict of just letting go and letting love, basically, like letting it just happen. And so once you start doing that, once you start kind of letting go of micromanaging, you'll have less conflict. And as well, your ancestors will reveal the messages that they're trying to kind of relay to you, to kind of, basically unscramble this puzzle that just doesn't make any sense. As long as you stop micromanaging the universe and doing all that stuff, then you'll be able to get these inspired ideas and get these amazing, abundant things that are meant to be in your life, is what I'm getting for that. Okay. And then, so I'm going to give you a positive message.
What deck is this from?
This is from the Super Attractor.
Okay.
Okay. So your positive message is, when I make joy a priority, brilliant ideas will come naturally, support will surround me, and movements will form. So this is a card. Okay, so for this one, this kind of like ties in with your big picture thinking. Um, the more you make happiness and joy and all of the exciting things, in your creative endeavors in your business, all these brilliant ideas that you have just kind of tied in the back of your brain, will come naturally to you. You won't have to think so hard. You won't have to be like, what video do I need to make? What content do I have to make? What do I have to do today to be of service to others? It'll come naturally. You'll wake up one day and you'll be like, this is what I want to do. This is it. I have no question to ask. This is what I want to do, and that is it. And so it said the support will surround me and movements will form. And what I get from that is basically your community will support you, your online community, your goddess guidance community that you have, your women's circle community will all support you. And movements will form. You'll have these movements of powerful women that realize that they are these divine, beautiful beings, that are meant to do amazing things. And I feel like that is the, kind of like the message that you're trying to spread to these women by doing these circles, is that you're trying to inform them that they have more power than they think they have. And so with that knowledge, they'll make movements. Things will happen, big things will happen as far as that. And then for your self-care cards, oh, okay. Okay. Oh, hold on. Okay. So, to
Oh, it's got in my
your
face. Sorry.
your two self-care cards. One is make a vision board, and then secondly, your other one is movement. Okay, so I know that movement is kind of hard right now because of the circumstances that you're in, but spirit really wants you to kind of, get out of your funk and really move. Really, just even if it's to walk from your bedroom to the kitchen and back, or just to walk from your bedroom to the mailbox. What they're saying is that basically it will kind of bring you more joy and happiness and life back into your life. If you just move, just move. It doesn't have to be so strenuous and such a huge activity. Just move, walk with my sister to the backyard and come back. As painful as it is, small progress is still progress. In other words, is what I'm getting for this. And as well as make a vision board. And this kind of ties in with your whole big picture thinking, card. Is they want you to make a vision board to kind of basically see all your thoughts of what you're trying to accomplish in your life, all the goals, all the amazing things that you want to come to fruition, the things you want to manifest. They want you to really make this vision board so you can see it in a big picture way, to see, okay, this is the vision that I want to, make happen in my life. This is the vision that I want to come alive and do, yeah, these amazing things. So they really want you to make a vision board because they feel like it's very, very necessary, as well as moving. They want you to move. So that is your reading.
Are you
For
ready?
some,
Go ahead.
well, hold on. For some reason, every time I do a reading, I get a stuffy nose. Is that normal?
It is normal for you. If it happens, it happens.
Okay, lay it on me.
You ready?
Yes.
You did great. Great. It resonated very well from start to finish. Even there was one part of uncertainty, but that tells me that's obviously something I have to explore because
Uh
I
huh.
haven't faced it or haven't figured it out just yet. It completely resonated. You I am giving you your Yelp review right now, your feedback right now. So
Cool.
this is your feedback, your Yelp review. I recommend you 5 out of 5. Now, the reason for that is the way you communicate, your you create a picture, your words are clear. You I don't know if you noticed, but in real life, you do a lot of um,
Yeah.
but in the reading, you didn't do any of it. It's like it's not even there. It's like you're just like just flowing, and that's
Yeah.
good. That because that means you're literally surrendering and you're allowing yourself to be the telephone, so your guides everything can come through, and that's exactly how you do readings. Granted, it's going to be different, but that's the concept of it is for you to be the vessel. That's the
Yeah.
whole concept of it, and that's what you do. So even when you say, I'm not ready or I don't feel like I know enough, what's there to know other than I am the vessel and I am here to convey the message? That's all we need to know. Granted,
Yeah.
practice is necessary so that we can hone in our gifts, but we're never perfect at it. We're never great at it. We just keep learning and we keep growing because there is no perfect. What is there to perfect doesn't exist. Not because, oh, nothing's perfect, but no, because everything is constantly changing. People are different. The scenario is changing. Our learning, our stage of transformation, everything is a variable constantly. So perfection does not exist.
Yeah.
There's no way to, to perfect it as you once mentioned, but it was clear, it was concise. Again, you did not stutter. You were there was it's nothing like your regular conversation, and that's good because that means it's like you're literally stepping out for a second so the guides can come through, and that's good. So I recommend you 5 out of 5. Yes.
Yay.
Now let me ask you this. So okay, let's real quick about the readings. How do you feel about giving family readings versus non-family?
um, they're kind of the same. Even though I know you, I feel like um my family, I feel like I open up something that I never knew about you guys, and so it still feels like I'm giving a reading for a complete stranger.
Okay. Oh, that makes
So it,
sense. I didn't think about it that way.
yeah, yeah. So it really doesn't. It's all the same to me.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't ever thought about it that way. So now let's go back to I want to talk to you real quick about your services or how you are of service. So I noticed, you do your readings and then you listed guidance sessions and then you do women's circles. So my question is, I offer services with those same names. My question is, how did you get called to pick those titles? Because I mean, my reasons are obviously different. But how are you guided to pick to pick your gathering to be a women's circle? How did you pick your readings? Well, the readings are readings, but how
Yeah.
were you guided to these titles or to the labels? I guess to give your services.
Well. as far as the women's circle, it was something that I wanted to tap into, but not so much just a women's circle, but kind of like a community where we could just talk. And it didn't just have to be women. But that's not a service that I am offering at this particular moment because I'm taking it one step at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really the service that the main service that I am trying to offer is, yes, in intuitive readings, but really it's kind of like a session to where um, we figure out how exactly you can you not how exactly, but kind of like advice on how you can heal this particular situation that you're going through, or just kind of get some insight of like, where do I need to go? Well, I'm lost, so I need help. And that is what I offer to people is I offer help. I offer, these sessions to where we sit and we kind of just, decide a topic. What do you want to know? Okay, and I don't go and tell the future, whatever. I give motivation and I give you the confirmation of what you already know. I give you, yes, you can do this. You can do this. And so, yeah, I guess that if that makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
that's the only service that I really want to offer is just my and not so much my guidance sessions, but my mentorship sessions, basically, like to not really mentor you, but to help you to just be of service to people, basically. So I don't know. I just call it guidance sessions because that's all what I've always heard you say. Like I thought that was the proper term of what they're called.
Honestly, it's whatever you feel guided to. For example, if you feel like you are guiding, then that is what it is. That's
Yeah,
how I guess that's how I was brought to call them what they are. That's
yeah,
what I feel like I do. Like in my readings or any conversation or time that you spend with me, we're literally having a conversation and we're getting insight as to the different aspects of your life, and I'm sharing with you the guidance that I'm giving you, and I'm
yeah,
presenting the scenarios and I'm presenting the challenges, and then I'm presenting what they're strongly suggesting that you do, because again, we all have free will. So no matter what comes through in a reading, we can choose. We have free will. And
yep.
that people don't understand that. It's like they think like the readings are bond, like that's it. It's final word. It's concrete. And it's like no, it's not. It's guidance.
Yeah,
That's what it
and
is.
and to kind of like add to that, with the whole like a lot of like readers say I don't tell the future or anything like that. And I was listening to this YouTuber and she was saying that the reason why psychics or intuitive readers or whatever they don't tell the future is because we have free will. You have the right to change your future.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting this specific reading and listening to this specific message, so that way you can avoid the outcome later on in life. So if they're saying that something, you're obviously going down a destructive path by choosing this path, and so they're warning you in advance, your spiritual support teams, like saying like, hey, you could do something about it now
Mm-hmm.
before this situation happens. So obviously the future is always changing. it's
Right.
it's not it's not set in stone, like you said. It's not the final answer. You have the free will to change the future. That is the reason
Exactly.
why
And
readers. Uh-huh.
with that, having said that, so you can avoid this, a lot of times people come into readings thinking that because that was said, that's going to happen. I can't avoid it.
Yes.
The reader said this is going to happen. This will happen in my reading. That's it. It's there's nothing I can do, but there is. It's like all of a sudden people relinquish their free will. It's like they forget that they have free will. It's like you literally chose to come here to get a reading. You didn't have to. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That is free
Yeah.
will. It's like I don't understand why all of a sudden the understanding or the concept of free will just vanishes all of a sudden. It's like
Yeah.
how did that happen? How did we even? How did that come to be? It's yeah, it's
and
interesting.
that's kind of like what I had mentioned earlier about when I got that reading from the Enchanted Cottage, was that she told me that I was going to have a son. And I have, obviously, that I have two girls, and going through this spiritual path or whatever, this journey, spirit kind of like relayed the picture of like, hey, you got to fix yourself first, before this little boy comes into your life. I know for a fact that I am supposed to have a son, that he is going to make an appearance eventually. But what my spiritual support team is like, see the big picture first. Like, look at what we're trying to show you, because you're just looking at the end result. And so that's kind of what people are missing, is that they're not looking at what they're trying to draw to you. Like, look, this is what we're trying to show you, what you have to do first before you get the baby or before you get the house. Like, and I think like people just, it just goes over people's head. Like, come on.
Yeah, I think it's because they go in so focused on how they things should be or want what they want the reading to look like that it seems like
Yeah.
if it doesn't match, they don't. They're not gonna take it and put it in their pocket, their toolbox. It's like, nope, that's not what I came for. Nope, but
Yep.
that's what I came for. I heard baby and boy, that's what I came for. I'm having a boy.
Yep.
I'm pregnant right now and I'm having a boy. That's the
Yeah.
kind. That's again, that's spiritual bypassing. It's like you're
Yeah.
picking and choosing, and you're really bypassing the thing. What you're being presented to focus on, what is being presented to you as the challenges that are really, really causing an issue, or they're hindering your growth, or whatever the case may be. And yeah, I mean, I can again, hindsight is always 2020. So looking back, I can see how, when, why, and where I did all that. It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I sucked really bad. I get that. It sucks
Yeah.
to understand better, and then being able to look back and understand that and see it all, for a fact that you're still going through it to some extent, to some degree, because we're constantly growing, we're constantly evolving. Even
Yep.
everything is teaching us something. That's what it
Yep.
is. Everything is always teaching us something.
Yep.
Well, my dear, we have been on for an hour and a half, a lot longer than I anticipated, but it always
Yeah.
happens when we come on together. So, thank you for coming on here and spending time with us and sharing with us everything that you've been going through and sharing with us who you have now become, because you understand now that this is the direction you were being pointed in all along. You you attacked your shadow work, or at least you decided to start confronting your shadow work head on. You're not going to avoid it anymore, no matter if it gets really sucky or sad, because now you have the ancestors. Now they're there with you, they're walking with you, they're supporting with you. You will, again, like you said, you will never be alone. Now we won't, because our ancestors are always there with us. So
Mhm.
you got to a place where you're able to see that, understand that, and explain that. You will now understand, because I asked you to give me a reading because I wanted you to see and physically feel and understand that whatever you're supposed to know to give a reading is whatever you're supposed to know. You know it now. There is no supposed to, shoulda, coulda, that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
However you're meant to give a reading is how you're meant to give a reading, and you just did that, right? You just
Yeah.
did that. That's exactly what my point was. You let it flow. You just, again, the second I opened up myself, I literally was shutting the door for a reading, and the second I said it, I opened it up, and it hit you because you were
Yeah.
open. You were ready for it. You were ready to put yourself in reading mode, and that's what it's about. And I know for a fact that if you don't focus as much and literally just go with the flow and embrace whatever messages, whatever downloads you're receiving, you're gonna do fine. You're gonna continue to sprout. You're gonna continue to water your seed, and it's gonna. What you're doing is exactly what you're supposed to be doing, and
Yeah.
feel good about that. Be excited about that. Even if you have a moment like you feel completely ignorant about something, be excited about that, because you know they're gonna get taught. You know the lesson is coming. So,
Yeah.
thank you for being here, and thank you for giving me a reading. I appreciate
No
you spending
problem.
time with
Thank
me
you.
as usual. I love you to death, and I need to have Girl Day, please. Give us
Yes.
Girl Day. I want this to
I
be boycott
know.
because Ava Lanova doesn't even know us, and we're not excited about that. We want to see
Well,
our babies.
Ava, good luck with Ava.
Dude,
She's
we want to see our babies. Give us Girl Day. Give us Girl Day. Give us
uh
Girl Day. Girl Day. Anyway, all
oh.
right. So that wraps up for me. Is there anything? Oh, just real quick. Remember, we got the Women's Circle happening on Friday, April 23rd, 6 p.m. I'm Pacific time. We have the April Showers reading special happening for the entire month of April. and you will see the monetary exchange and investment on the website once you go and take a look at it. There's a big discount there, you guys, so don't miss out on that. We had the live that happened today, and also I guess that's it. So visit my website if you would like some more information. Elizabeth, you can share with us whatever it is that you would like to have as your final thought. We are listening.
Um, I mean, I don't really have much of a final thought. I will probably opening my services probably mid-April to the end of April. If you guys just visit my website, that the link is down below, or as well as in my Instagram, you'll be able to keep up with whenever I offer those services. And other than that, that's pretty much all I have.
And just rest assured that Elizabeth will be at the Women's Circle with us. We'll be there together sharing. Elizabeth will be at the Women's Circle.
Oh, okay.
See? Uh huh. So we look
Wait,
forward to everybody being there.
this Friday?
No, April 23rd.
Oh, April 23rd.
Yes.
Okay. I can't make promises because Anthony might have a game
Oh, that's right. I can't wait till the
and I
Oklahoma
have to.
games because we can't wait to go. It's like Aisha's been waiting for her brother to have a game because she wants to
Yeah.
go so bad.
Well, he does have a game, but there's
Mm-hmm.
only four people
I know
that
your
can
mom's telling
go.
us.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we get
So,
that soon. So again, thank you so much for
yes.
being here. I greatly appreciate it, and I will talk with you all. I guess that's it. We'll talk with you guys all another day. All right, bye.
Yes. Bye.
Okay, I end.